it's a big difference, I think, when a kid can come out and just pull up a carrot and depending on the kid, just take a bite out of it and think like, this grew in my hometown. I planted these seeds months ago, with my friends.
This is a story about the infrastructure of our lives and Jubilee House's ambitious plan to transform an old football field into a garden for all. Working with AGU's Thriving Earth Exchange, the local community is looking to tackle a collapsed culvert head-on and turn this land into a crop-growing powerhouse. The end game? Grow enough food to feed this corner of the world, one person at a time.
Parrish is the kind of place that has been, in many ways, left behind by the rest of the world. There's a lot of economic hardships, a lot of different aspects that exist as challenges for our community. If you talk to anyone in this town, the thing they wish the most would be that the school could come back. The school was just really the community hub for everything. Friday night football was a big deal. It's a big deal all across the Southeast, but it was a really big deal here. And so to have our school shut down and lose that connective tissue for our community was huge, I think. And it led to a lot of disconnection.
It just killed a lot of the pride in the town. And a lot of people that was ingrained and loved this place slowly started easing off and leaving, so that's been a big challenge, just trying to restore the pride.
I think mostly people just don't know where to start, and they get really stuck on what something looks like and not what something can be.
The appearance is a lot different from the actual people. There's a lot of good people, hard-working people, and we're really kind of close-knit. Everyone pretty much looks out for one another, but there are those few that have home and or maybe food insecurities that kind of slip.
There's a lot of needs here, and having somebody that we can work with that's able to help us meet those needs has been huge.
Jubilee started with this pantry idea. We went to the town, we pitched this idea, hey, we want to put a building outside of town hall with a refrigerator in it, and we want to keep food in there and invite all of our neighbors to put food in there for other people. And that's where it all began. And so since then, it's spiraled and grew and changed and has been full of experimentation.
We are standing at Reclamation Gardens, and it is just a plot of land that the city told us that we could use to be able to produce food to put into the free fridge and give to our community. There's plenty of food pantries that will give you dry goods and stuff, and those things are wonderful and they're so great and they do feed people, but a lot of people here don't have access to healthy food. So that was the idea of starting this. Sweet potato season is my favorite season. This year we grew just over 100 pounds of sweet potatoes, and it's the kids in the community's favorite event that we do, the Jamboree.
My son is 6. We go down to the Sweet Potato Festival every year. He digs them up, and it's like a game to him. He enjoys it.
It's a patience game. It's a game of hope. You do everything that you can to create the environment for something to grow, which is exactly what we're trying to do here.
Everything we do has been approached with this kind of openness to failure, to try something, and out of this grew this need for thinking about how great this food insecurity is in our community, and realizing with our ever worsening climate and environmental issues that one pantry and one refrigerator wasn't going to be enough to carry us into the next 10 years.
When Ryan came to us and talked about, taking this football field and making like a community garden, I thought it was like absolutely the best thing, that could happen for the town.
Like, why not? It's going to clean up a property and then also start to be used to meet needs.
As soon as I heard about it, I called Ryan and Jordan and said, hey, how can me and my boy help?
The expansion will be huge. We'll be able to grow so much more food. It's crazy. We'll be able to give away food beyond just in the free fridge, which I'm really excited about.
This is a comeback story of a small town. really wish I'd got an experience like the football setting here, you know, with people just coming out of their houses pretty much and their neighbors coming over to sit in the yard, and I'm sure it had a real cool feel to it, you know.
Looking at the stadium lights up there, like I think about like they're gonna have to come down at some point because they're not safe, but also at the same time they kind of just seem like they're like guardians of a place that is not what it was anymore. But yeah, at the same time it makes me just think about, you know, the future. We have these dreams, we can imagine it, right? You know, we can go down there to that open field and we can squint our eyes and we can see a farm that feeds people and cares for people. But we also don't have necessarily all the resources we need to make those things happen. So we knew we were gonna have to turn outward to other sources of people who would see the vision, would care about our community the way that we care about it, and they would align with their values in the same way.
I first learned about the Jubilee House project in Parrish, Alabama, because I had gotten to know Ryan Cagle. I work in environmental justice, and as I learned more about the community, I realized that Thriving Earth Exchange would be a perfect solution.
My initial impression of the Parrish project is that it was very ambitious. It's not just about providing food, but it is about solving this engineering problem, which is to analyze and assess the condition of the culvert system. The primary challenge is the lack of information of the current system, because we don't know where the pipes are, how big they are, how deep they're buried underground. They may be of different sizes. And as far as we know, there's no individual or organization that is maintaining it.
So I come back and you pull. Yep, you can pull pretty fast. So you get to that takeout. Yep, and then go ahead and drop that there. Keep pulling. Auburn is one of the older universities in Alabama, and as a land-grant institution, our job is partly to help the people of Alabama. And so part of that mission is coming to places like Parrish and trying to use our engineering knowledge, our tools that we have available to us to try and help that community with their needs. As we come into the site up 4th Street, we see the old parking lot. And the first thing we notice is a power pole that's leaning a little bit. And that's where we've had some erosion occur, and that power pole is actually starting to move. And then as we come further up, we can see multiple holes that have appeared, likely due to the culvert either collapsing in those locations or erosion coming into the side of it. And then we get to the actual football field itself, and the football field seems to be in great shape. We don't see any signs of erosion, we don't see any holes, we don't see any issues on the field itself. But when we look at it from the north side, what we can really see is significant erosion as this water has found a new path, as water always does. If you block it from one spot, it's going to find another one. This is our second trip here. Our first time we brought a drone with us, and we were able to fly the site and take really high resolution imagery to try and map out the features that we could find. Today we've come back and we're taking measurements of the holes that we can see in the culvert, but we're also doing some geophysical tests. So we're doing electrical resistivity tests, which lets us build an image of how electricity passes through the ground, and hopefully that'll help us define where that culvert is. And then we're also doing some seismic testing here, so we can measure how waves travel through the ground and the speed to try and understand the materials that are at this site and what depth it is.
After we have a map of the current culvert system, we need to assess and analyze its condition, whether we need to remove it or remove part of it, or we need to replace it or repair it to some extent. If we can accomplish all the previous steps successfully, we want to reuse the storm water to water the garden so that it can run sustainably.
I see the future. I see all those crops and peas and okra and sweet potatoes and kids running around and chickens and goats and people getting fed and collard cook-off and sweet potato harvest. I see all kinds of stuff.
It's going to take a village. It's going to take the town to come together to make it happen.
I feel like it can be one of those melting pots. I think it can bring some people together that usually ain't together.
And to plant something and to see it grow, and to actually be able to take that and, help someone else,
I'm gonna grow every type of sweet potato that I possibly can grow, because we're gonna try them all, and I can't wait.